Hello and welcome. You know that feeling when your mind just feels clouded or stuck? Well, today we're jumping into a really powerful teaching from the ancient Pali Canon that gives a stunningly clear diagnosis for that feeling. It answers a huge question. What is it that actually defiles our minds? And what happens when we finally clear it all away? You're about to see how one single repeating pattern is the key to understanding, well, pretty much everything. So here's our roadmap. First, we'll zero in on the core problem. Then, we're going to trace how that problem shows up in everything we see, hear, and think. From there, we'll scale it up to the very building blocks of reality. And then, the best part, we'll uncover the incredibly elegant and powerful solution this teaching offers. So, let's get into it.
All right, to really get this, we've got to learn two super important Pali terms first. Now, these aren't just some old dusty words. Think of them more like precision tools. They define the exact nature of the problem we're about to unpack.
Okay, our first term is chandarago. Now, this isn't just, a passing want. It's a deep, compelling pull. It's a mix of chanda, which is desire, and raga, which is more like a powerful passion or lust. Think of it as this magnetic force that just hooks our attention and creates this really strong sense of attachment. And what happens when we have that chandarago? Well, it becomes what's called an kilesa. This literally means a defilement, an impurity, or a stain. And that metaphor is just perfect, isn't it? It's like stirring mud into a glass of clear water. It clouds the mind's natural brightness and just hides its true, clear nature. So where does this defilement first pop up? The teaching brings this whole idea right down to earth, into the most immediate part of our lives, our senses. This is where we first see that powerful, systematic pattern that's at the heart of this entire teaching. The very first text in this collection just gets right to it. It makes this incredibly important distinction. The problem isn't the eye itself. It's the chandarago, that desire and lust, that comes up in connection with the eye. That's the thing that becomes the upakilesa, the stain on the mind. And this is where you can really see how systematic this teaching is. The text just methodically applies the exact same logic to every single sense door. The desire connected with the ear, yep, that's a defilement. The nose, the tongue, the body, and yeah, even the mind itself. Each one is identified as the very same kind of defilement. It's an incredibly comprehensive diagnosis. Okay, now get ready because the pattern is about to expand in a huge way. It doesn't just stop with our sense organs and a whole series of really powerful, short texts. This teaching just blows up its scope to cover literally every possible aspect of our experience. The logic here is just so beautifully simple. It moves from the sense door itself to what comes through that door. It makes perfect sense, right? If desire for the eye is a problem, then it follows the desire for what the eye sees is also a problem. And just look at how thorough this gets. It's not just about physical stuff. Desire for sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and touches, they're all in there. But then it takes it a step further to include desire for mental objects, our thoughts, our ideas, our memories. Every single thing we can possibly experience falls under this exact same pattern. Each one is a potential stain on the mind. The analysis then goes even deeper, like looking under the hood at the very machinery of how our minds work. The texts apply this principle to each stage. Desire for the basic consciousness that just registers something, for that moment of contact between a sense and an object, for the pleasant or unpleasant feeling that pops up, for the perception that slaps a label on it, for the intention to act, and, get this, even for the arising of craving itself. At every single step of how we think and feel, that potential for defilement exists. Next up, the teaching takes this pattern and scales it up to its most universal level. We're moving from our personal, internal world to the fundamental building blocks of existence itself. We're going from the micro all the way to the macro. So one text takes this logic to its absolute limit. It says that any chandarago, any desire and lust for the great elements that make up our entire physical world, is also a defilement of the mind. Absolutely nothing is exempt. And this list is meant to cover everything. You've got the earth element for solidity, the water element for cohesion, fire for temperature, and wind for motion. It even includes the element of space that holds everything, and the element of consciousness that knows it all. The point is crystal clear. There is no corner of reality, no matter how basic, where desire can hide out without becoming a defilement. And to really bring it all home, the final text in this series applies the pattern to the 5 aggregates: our body, our feelings, our perceptions, our mental habits, and our consciousness. These are the building blocks we kind of glue together to create our sense of self. So desire for what we think of as me is also, you guessed it, a defilement of the mind. So, wow, we've seen the diagnosis, and it's laid out with this relentless, exhaustive precision. But here's the most important part. After identifying this universal problem, every single one of these texts pivots to offer the exact same, powerfully simple solution. This is the turning point. Each text says that when a person starts to see and abandon this defilement of the mind, something fundamental shifts. Their mind naturally starts to incline toward what's called nakama, which is often translated as renunciation, but it's really more about a letting go, a turning away from all that grasping. The mind's whole default setting begins to change. This image just captures that transformation perfectly, doesn't it? The mind moves from a state of apokaleso, bound up, clouded, and super reactive, to a state described by this beautiful word, kamanam. This means a mind that is workable, pliable, and ready to be used. It's not an obstacle anymore. It's become a capable and reliable tool. And this leads us to the big payoff line that wraps up every single text in this chapter. The Pali says, Nekkama paribhavitam chittam kamaniyam kayati abhinya sachikaranyesu damesuti. And what that means is, a mind that's been cultivated with renunciation is considered workable for the direct knowledge and realization of profound truths. So what does it really mean for a mind to be workable? It means it's no longer being constantly hijacked by desire and lust. It becomes clear, it becomes stable, and it has the capacity for that deep investigation you need to see things as they really are. It's a mind that is fit for the job of achieving abhinya, that direct, profound insight, which is the gateway to ultimate liberation. So, we're left with a really powerful question to think about. Beyond just being calm or happy, what would it mean for you to have a mind that is truly workable, a mind that's fit and ready for whatever matters most in your life?